All right, guys, Week 18 in the books. Playoffs, NFL football season 2024 in the books. I'm your host, Hold My Helmet, Will Reichling. Welcome.
Co-host Dylan Boyle.
What's up, Dylan? How you been? It's been a couple of weeks, man.
I know. Welcome.
What's going
welcome
on? How
back.
are you?
I've been doing.
Are you
great.
good, bro?
Just busy.
Everything's okay?
Busy boy. Busy boy.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Everything's okay? Nothing we need to talk about? Intervention?
Maybe.
Oh, no, you're good. We're not gonna.
It's good, man.
Nah,
It's good.
I think you're okay.
I think we're finally getting to that time of the year. Playoffs. Every game is a must-watch game, an
Every game
exciting game,
matters.
and every game on this slate is a game. It's a go either way game. It's going to be a great game. Every single one of these games.
We'll get into
I'm
that
excited.
really quick.
I'm excited.
We will get into that very quickly. We'll go over a few games in Week 18, the ones that mattered. First off, Lions, Vikings. Dude, I finally turned the page on Sam Darnold. I said, this guy's elite. I think this guy's a top 10 quarterback. He threw 30-something touchdown passes this season. I finally said that Sam Darnold was a good quarterback. Was I proved wrong?
Yeah, you were proved very wrong. And Sam Darnold didn't play good at all. I'm just going to be frank with you. He didn't play good. Red zone offense was terrible. I mean, him in the red zone just was not good. He wasn't making his checkdowns. He had open guys. He was making the wrong decisions. And, as much as I love to shit on him, for this game, I don't blame him. You're going against one of the best defenses, one of the best teams in the league. The game that means the most. And, it happens. This is his first season, getting things going. And I don't make much of it,
So, yes, the Vikings might have, for Week 18, you're fighting for the 1 seed. Might have put up the worst performance I've ever seen in my goddamn life. But, 0 for 4 in the red zone, or was it 0 for 5 in the red zone? Touchdown percentage. They were 0 for 4, 0 for 5. They went for it on fourth down 2 or 3 times, and they could not get it. But I still believe in Sam Darnold. Look, he had a rough game. And it's props to Aaron Glenn, because that defensive coordinator, you got some pieces back, Angeloni. You got some defensive pieces back, but still, you had some guys out, and you still performed. Aaron Glenn, great job by him, the defensive coordinator of the Lions. He did an excellent job in this game. He sent pressure up the middle almost every goddamn play. Sam Darnold was blitzed almost every play. He struggled with that blitz.
Yeah. I didn't like what I saw from him, and I don't think they're going to go that far in the playoffs, but I don't think that, that doesn't paint the picture of Sam Darnold. I think he's going to do just fine, whether on this team or another team. I think he's proven himself over the course of, of a year. He's proven a lot. I think this defense alone has been, absolutely out of its mind. I mean, their defense is the reason why they stayed in it for the first half. They're the ones that made it close. I mean, that defense.
If you think about it, though, Sam Darnold with that offense dude, this is a top 10 offense. Now, this game against the Rams, this wildcard game, we'll get into our predictions later in this episode, but this is such a huge game for Sam Darnold. If he can go out there, shrug off the bad loss against maybe the best team in the league and win this game, the narrative changes a little bit. If he goes in here and shits the bed again, can Sam Darnold play against good teams? That becomes a question. Well, that becomes a question.
That brings up the whole thing. I mean, you have JJ McCarthy, sitting back watching.
First round pick.
What do you do? You got JJ McCarthy. You got Sam Darnold. You got Daniel Jones. You got 3 quarterbacks that can be starters anywhere else.
Sam Darnold had an elite season, but you saw that game against the Lions and you thought Jets, Panthers, turnovers. You thought about the old Sam Darnold. So for him to come out there next week against the Rams,
he didn't look atrocious. Let's put that.
He didn't.
He just didn't look good in the red zone where it matters.
He looked a little too jittery. He overthrew Jefferson 2 or 3 times in the red zone. Jordan Addison wide open. He
was getting hit while he threw that to Jefferson.
I agree. And Aaron Glenn, the defensive coordinator, did a phenomenal job. He should get a head coaching job next year. He really is probably going to get a head coaching job next season.
Most likely.
But for Sam Darnold, this was a big game. You could get the 1 seed, and he was a little jittery. I don't think he was he choked that much, but he choked a little bit. He was especially in the first half. They probably shouldn't have went for it on fourth down twice. Even so, the final score was 31-9. But they had the 2 times that they went for it in the red zone. They wouldn't have won the game with that because they were down by so much anyway. So sorry.
Bless you.
At the end of the day, Sam Darnold, I believe in this guy. I think he's going to come out here. I think he's going to beat the Rams. We'll get into this late in the episode, but I think the Sam Darnold and the Vikings. I don't think they have the favorites in that game. So
wow. All right,
we'll get into it later.
Let's get into the next one.
Bengals, Steelers, Saturday. Bengals, look, they got hot a little too late.
Too late. They
really did.
And that's been their theme for the last couple of years.
They fired the defensive coordinator, Lou Anarumo. Dude, 2 years ago they were talking about this guy being one of the best defensive coordinators in the league. They decided to get rid of every piece on defense.
Well, what you tell me, what has been the number one struggle on this team?
The defense.
So what else do you
name one player on that defense besides Trey Henderson, the defensive lineman?
I can't, but still, it doesn't come. Look at the Vikings; they don't have anybody that's
That's true. And good point. And Brian Flores brought them the victory in a way. Lou Anarumo, but like this guy, he was the top coordinator a few years ago. Though he was the top coordinator. I think he's gonna be fine. I really think it's more about Joe Burrow, Zach Taylor, the offense starting it too little, too late again. First couple of weeks, they lose to the Patriots. They got it going pretty quickly. They beat the Chiefs in week 2 and everything. But
it's funny. It's funny. I keep on seeing this meme pop up. If that week 1 game would have went the opposite, the Bengals winning and the Patriots losing, Bengals would have made the playoffs and Patriots would have secured the number 1 spot. It's funny how 1 game determined the future for two franchises
in week 1.
In week 1.
Who thinks a week 1 game is going to determine the outcome of the end of the season? That's a very good point, Dylan.
Well, it's been the theme to the Bengals this whole time. You can't keep starting off slow, and there was no excuse for Joe Burrow. I mean, he was coming off an injury, but you're healthy. You're 100% healthy.
Honestly, he had a career year. Can we really? I don't.
And now I did want to mention. Now people are saying MVP.
No MVP.
I know
no playoffs. No MVP.
That's what I'm getting at. I'm glad we can agree with that. If let's say it was the opposite way, Lamar Jackson. Let's say all those games would have went the other way, and he didn't win the playoff. If he didn't make the playoffs, there would be no debate on whether or not Lamar wins MVP.
Remember,
winning games comes down to quarterback.
Remember early in the season, maybe a few weeks ago, we were arguing Lamar or Josh MVP, and I was saying, can Lamar win the MVP if he doesn't even win his own division? But now he won his own division, so I'm on the board. Lamar MVP. Joe Burrow didn't only not win this division, couldn't even get a fucking wild card spot. Now we're talking about him to be MVP. What is this, baseball? Baseball players win MVP and then make the playoffs. This is not how it works here. You're a quarterback, the center of your team. Look at Mahomes. His stats weren't great this season. They are 15-2. Mm-hmm. So
it's not to knock him at all.
No, he had a great year. He had a great year. Sorry, I hit your screen, but he had a great year.
Emotional. I get it. I'm emotional too about it because he did have a great year. But at the end of the day, if your team's not doing good, then you're not doing good.
There should be a rule. You do not win MVP. I mean, only for quarterback. You can't win MVP if you don't make the playoffs. That's all it is.
That's a fair take.
I mean, come on. Think about that for a second. How can you be the most valuable player on your team
when you're not a valuable team?
Yeah, right. Honestly, we felt like this was a little bit of a different team. They get rid of Kenny Pickett. They started off with Justin Fields, and then they go with Russell Wilson. We thought this was a major change. This is a different team. Last year, they were 10-7. This season, they're 10-7. They're in the same spot that they were last season, Dylan. What is going on?
I saw a big difference in this team, when they started Russ, and I'm still sticking with my gun there.
I just don't understand how they're in the same spot as last season. They're 1 seed higher, yes, but somehow they're still 10-7 now. They went on a 4-game skid, and look, I liked how Russ played in the beginning of the season. People are starting to question George Pickens. Look, I questioned him in the beginning of the season.
It was one game.
I stopped. You
game.
hear the narrative now, though, right?
It's one
It was a couple.
game.
It was like 2 or 3 games. He was hurt a couple games. He came back last game, didn't perform. Bro, look, I've been turning the tide.
It's one game.
I turned the tide on Pickens. I'm just saying the narrative out there is that he's not number 1. I'm just saying it. I'm just going to go out there.
One game, and we're already abandoning the ship.
Not going to abandon the ship, but how do you feel about this Steelers team? They're going against the Ravens. Are you what's going?
I think it's going to be. They're going to leave first round. I mean,
but is it disappointing for them? What's going on? They were 10-3.
Do they keep Mike Tomlin at this point?
Do they trade? He's a tradable asset. Do you trade him to Chicago? I don't know. Honestly,
a lot of question marks going on there. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. Honestly, I think they ride with Russ at this point. You have some momentum going into the next season, you know. See what he's capable of.
I would do one more year of this. Look, the quarterback draft's not good. Where you go get Rodgers? Like, no. Like, honestly, Russ put up better numbers than Rodgers this season. So, I would just ride with Russ. Yeah, but I'm a little worried. Like, you can't really get rid of Mike Tomlin, who's like...
They're a ready now team, though. Like, you could tell. They're a ready now team that's one piece away.
I don't really think it's Russ. I just don't think they have enough offensive talent, Dylan. Like, George Pickens, who else? Najee's good, not great. Jalen Warren's good, not great. Fryermuth's good. Tavon Austin, I guess. Like, DeAndre Johnson got shipped out of town. Mike Williams, come on. Like,
Mike Williams a player. You saw that catch he made this week?
One catch, though. That's what he does. He has one catch, and he disappears. He's like, you need more talent. Come on, you got to agree with that. They need more players.
They need, like, a solid, like,
number 2.
Yeah.
Imagine Devontae Smith on the Steelers. You know,
Or, like, a solid
T. Higgins.
back, you know.
Yeah, another running back. But, like, T. Higgins on the Raiders, he's going to be not a free agent. He might be a free agent, but...
That might be the key piece they need.
So
I wouldn't, abandon ship yet. I'm not ready to sell right now.
No, I wouldn't give her Mike Tomlin. I wouldn't give her the Russ either. I would keep both of them, run it back 1 more year, see where you evaluate after next season. Two teams fighting for the NFC West. Well, actually, it was the NFC South. I'm sorry. We'll start with the Saints Bucks because the Saints, we've been talking about it for weeks. Might be the worst team in the league. Almost beat the Bucks. But then, honestly, Baker, what do you throw, 41 touchdown passes this season? Had a lot of picks. Had a lot of touchdowns. Baker Mayfield missed a ton of throws, and the Bucs escaped narrowly, but, like, they won the division. Mike Evans, 11 straight season with 1,000 yards.
1,000 yards, yeah.
How do you feel about the last play, though? Throwing him the ball.
Why wouldn't you? I mean,
no, I
at
agree.
the end of the day, you want to make your players happy.
With the guy tickets for a pick six, you miss the playoffs. The Bucs. I mean, honestly, the Falcons lost anyway. So.
No, I 100%.
I respect
that.
Me
yeah.
too.
I think it was the right move. This is a guy that's been with your franchise for so long. It's only right you do right by him.
But like Mike Evans, 11 straight season with 1,000 yards. That screams all time great, but like, I feel like he's not a top 10 receiver of all time.
Of all time.
I can name 10 better receivers than Mike Evans. You want me to go right now?
No, I don't.
Yeah, I'll wait. I'll do it really quick. Let's see if I can do it. Jerry Rice, Randy Moss, Terrell Owens, Fred Biletnikoff, Steve Largent, Michael Irvin, Sterling Sharp. I'm just naming random guys right now. I'm already at 7, and like I've missed some of the all-time greats. Antonio Brown. What is his name? Calvin Johnson, Julio Jones, Justin Jefferson. I'm already at 11.
Yeah, I didn't say he was.
Jamar Chase. Yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying he's the definition of consistency. But even like he's the second player. He's the second most.
Cooper Kupp. I'm sorry.
Not Cooper Kupp.
No,
I'm not. He's all time not better than Mike Evans. He had one great year, but give another one. You probably. I'm sure.
I can't.
Give one a little bit in the past. You could do this.
Let's see.
Someone I didn't name. You could do this. I believe in you. Do someone right now.
You can't put me on the spot like this. I can't.
Okay. I'll think of one more. I already named 12. Let me think of one more. One more. Marvin Harrison, Sr. That's another one.
Marvin.
Reggie Wayne. These are all guys that are better than Mike Evans all time. We're at like 13 or 14 right now. Don Maynard on the Jets back in the day.
Patriots era.
I named Randy Moss already.
Oh. Okay.
Yeah, Randy Moss is the all-time. Look, he actually, if you think of top receivers of all time, he's probably top 20, not top 10, but he's the ultimate
top 25.
But he's the ultimate definition of consistency. 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards. Like he's the Hall of Famer. That's what I'm trying to say. He's not the best of all time, but he's a Hall of Famer. Like
he's somebody you want to.
Yeah, he's a top 30 receiver of all time. Maybe not 20, maybe not top 10, but he's top 30. So, congrats, Mike Evans. Great job in your career. You're an all-timer. But like, you've never been the best receiver of your own generation. So, when has he ever been number one?
What have you been number one?
Fuck you, bro. When one though? He's never been number one receiver in the entire league.
On his team.
I mean, yeah, he's number one. Garrett Wilson's number one. He's asking to get traded now. So I'm just saying, it's a perspective. Panthers, Falcons, bro. Bryce Young. I mean, he's bounced back a little bit. You got to be honest about that.
A little bit, yeah. I think so. I think there's something to salvage there. I just think, the Panthers are kind of like in purgatory right now. It's like, do you keep him? Do you get rid of him? Do you give him another shot? Do you?
I don't think you have a choice because there's not really many we've talked about this at length. We'll talk about it later. Not many quarterbacks in this draft.
He is a high trading. He's at a value where he's worth trading at this point.
And bro, they were like AJ Terrell, Jesse Bates. That's a good secondary. Bryce Young was moving out of the pocket, making throws on the run, like confidence. Like remember that he threw a touchdown, and before the guy called it, he like turned around, like just like he's got confidence now. He's just like. There's some swagger about. I actually think Bryce Young is like.
But he's a piece that's worth trading at this point.
I think he turned a corner to where they're going to start him next year. I think Bryce Young has value, and I think Bryce Young has ability in this league. And you saw it at the end of the season. The numbers might show it, might not show it. Like you might look at the numbers and you're like, they're okay. You watch him play. He was that Falcons game. He dominated that game.
I mean, I've seen plenty of games where Daniel Jones has looked like he was that guy. But like sometimes you can't outweigh like the very good with the bad because the bad outweighs the good.
Can we agree on Michael Penix though? That guy was making like layer throws after layer throw. Like
he's seasoned already.
You could tell watching him. He's going to be a good player. He's a good player now. Like you could tell watching.
He's a ready now guy.
He honestly, what do you think if they started him the whole season? Would they have made the playoffs? Like
I don't think it would have been much different.
I don't know. Kirk Cousins like started so strong, and he shit the last like 5 games. Like not 1 touchdown, 9 picks, and it just was ugly. And
where would he be going after this? I know there's going to be a team that wants him. I mean,
your Giants?
No,
I
would not want.
I know. I wouldn't. Honestly, I think he's like who really trade for
again.
him?
He's like one of those Stafford guys. Like you need like a great offensive line behind him.
Well, Stafford is just like his arm ability is like different than Kirk's. Like it's a little different, but I get what you're saying there. No, it's rough because Kirk Cousins like he's probably at the end of his ropes. Like
it seems like it.
Like last 5 games, 1 touchdown, 9 pick. That pick 6 against the Chargers, like. That ball he threw was like the slowest ball I've ever seen in my goddamn life. Like he's probably shot, so it's a little rough. Look, we thought Carson Wentz going to the Chiefs, it'd be a little bit of a rejuvenation. Guy's ass kicked by the Broncos, bro. Like Carson Wentz, we thought it'd be competitive. Broncos fucking kicked their ass. Like,
I don't know. I think that's more so, that the starters not being in, the nonchalant playing.
I get it, but Carson Wentz kind of like, I guess like Carson Wentz isn't.
I don't even think Andy Reid was calling plays at this point.
No, it probably wasn't. But Bo Nix making the playoffs, rookie season. Sean Payton should be in the.
A lot to like there.
And you saw some of the throws. It was like he dominated in that game. So Broncos get the 7th seed. Bengals don't. Dolphins don't. So Broncos, congrats. Like honestly, did we think the Broncos were going to make the playoffs when the season started? We didn't.
No. They could win a game. They can win a game
against Buffalo. I mean, we'll get into that in a second.
In Buffalo, that's going to be tough. But I think they can. They're capable of winning that game.
I guess we'll get into it now. Wildcard, NFL wildcard, AFC, NFC. Let's do it right now.
Wow.
Let's go. NFL wildcard. Start with Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Chargers, 2.5-point favorites over the Texans at home. Who do you got, Dylan? Who do you have in the wild card?
I think this is open shut. I think the Chargers win. The Texans, they haven't been winning convincing games. They haven't been looking the same. They're very, they have so many injuries. It's hard not to go with the Chargers. The Chargers have been lighting it up recently, and I really like the Chargers here.
I got the Chargers too. The Texans, honestly, it's funny because lost Stephon Diggs for the year, lost Tank Dell for the year. Remember last year? When they got really hot, Tank Dell was out for the year. Stephon Diggs wasn't on the team. So, like, it's kind of the same team as last year in a way.
Yeah.
And they're struggling. C.J. Stroud, we talked about in the offseason, sophomore slump. It's happening. It's real. Chargers, Jim Harbaugh. This guy's made a Super Bowl. He won the national championship.
They're red hot.
And Justin Herbert, the defense is the least amount of points per game per the whole season, the Chargers defense. So, like, this team is honestly, they might be the road team, but they're the favorites. So I got the Chargers too.
And if you take a look where they were last year compared to right now, it's crazy. It's
Night
night and day.
Great job, Jim Harbaugh.
Jim Harbaugh, man. He literally turned this franchise around in one season.
Elite coach.
And, like, we knew it was going to happen, but, like...
He's done it everywhere he went. Stanford, Niners, Michigan, Chargers. Every team, first year, turned it around. Every time.
Good for him.
So, great for Jim.
This could be, this could be a franchise that's kind of, it's looked at a little differently. Now Chiefs got to watch out.
Chasing the Chiefs' tail for a while. It could be
They
possible.
were, and now they're right
Justin
there.
Herbert, too. Oh, be prepared.
They're, like, right there. Like, their record might not show it, but, like...
Seed. Their first season with Jim Harbaugh, the 5 seed.
Talent-wise, like...
They suck. Talent-wise, honestly, that's what I'm saying. Talent-wise, this is going to be the least talented team they have for the next 10 years. Watch out, bro. Watch out. This is going to be scary.
Is there a chance they play each other?
5 seed...
Can they be the worst seed? No, because
they might play the shit. Yeah, they might be the worst seed.
Yeah, no, because if the worst seed
Steelers lose Broncos, we'll get into it right now. They might. Yes, it's possible. They actually might be the worst seed going to.
They're going to be because Steelers are probably going to lose against the Ravens,
and we're going to talk about right now. Steelers probably going to lose against the Ravens. Broncos probably going to lose against the Bills. Steelers Ravens. I'm going Ravens.
I'm going Ravens too. I mean, this is a divisional game, so you never know how it's going to play.
Ravens are at 9.5-point favorites, but don't be surprised if the Steelers keep it close. But Lamar Jackson, I feel like Lamar should be the MVP. I think we were on lockstep on that. I thought it was Josh. Look at Lamar's numbers. You're right. Those 4 picks, none of those were his fault. No. None of them. Not one pick was Lamar's fault. Lamar actually had a perfect season.
So. He has had a perfect season. There's no reason not to give it. It's just so...
Because Josh
it's
never
hard
won.
to give it to him.
Josh never won it. Lamar won last year.
I know.
It was a weak year.
2 years in a row, right?
No, not in a row. But last year was a weak year for him. So people are like, okay, he can't win it again this year. So it's a little biased. So,
but it's his third MVP.
It would be if he won.
Okay.
Josh never won one. I think that's playing a factor in this.
It has to. Everything plays a factor in it. I mean, at the end of the day, who chooses it? It would be,
the writers and
the old players,
and
like
writers. Yeah. Yes, right. And
because like Eli Manning was putting in picks, like it's a lot of people that are like in the like former NFL players.
Right. So I think we both got Ravens there. Bills are going to beat the Broncos. I think that's obvious. Broncos have no shot in this game.
You don't think they have any shot in this game?
I don't. No. I just think the Bills, like, they're a year away, the Broncos. This is a great step for them.
What's the spread?
Bills 8.5. It's actually smaller than the Ravens-Steelers spread.
So they have the biggest spread, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Everything else should be pretty close.
Right.
I'm getting the Bills here too, but I don't know. I think the Broncos play them close.
Look, it might be like less than 8.5, but the Bills are going to control this game. Bills are going to win. This is the game that everyone cares about. This is the one that's like on the kind of the wire, the fence. Packers, Eagles, Jordan Love, Jalen Hurts. You hate the Eagles. I love both these teams. Who do you got?
What team has been playing the best football of recently? I think it's the Eagles. The Eagles have been dominating, straight dominating. And no, I don't like their coach. I've been saying it all season, but Saquon Barkley, he's the player of this generation. He is, playing out of his mind, and I think, he's going to be the deciding factor of this game.
So I agree. I'm going to go with the Eagles. Why? I think the Eagles have the better roster. They have the better coordinators, and
they're more seasoned in this type of.
The Eagles haven't.
They've been here before.
The Eagles have a top 3 defense, and I just don't know who the Packers' number 1 receiver is. I don't know. Is it Dobbs? Is it Jaden Reed? Is it Tucker Kraft?
You lost Christian Watson for the season.
Exactly. Out for the year. David Wicks dropped. So they all dropped so many balls. So it's just like I don't know who their number 1 guy is. The Eagles' defense has stepped up being elite. It's screaming Eagles to me. It's screaming pick the Eagles. I'm going to go with Eagles.
I would love to see the Eagles get upset, though. That would be great.
Sunday Night Football, Commanders, Bucks. Look, Bucks are 3-point favorites at home. I'm going to go with the Washington Commanders. I think the Bucks are a good story. They're a great story, but their defense is a little lackluster. And Jaden Daniels, I think he's going to put on a show here on the road. He's going to show why he's the best rookie quarterback this season. I think Jaden Daniels is an elite quarterback. I think he's top 10. I think Baker's top 10 too, but I think Jaden has more upside. I think Jaden's going to show it tonight. Not tonight, but I think he's going to show it on Sunday.
I'm ready. I want it to be tonight. This is exciting. Every single one of these games is an exciting game, which I love. You don't have that game. It's like, oh, it's going to be a blowout, not even going to be fun to watch. I love all these games, especially this one. This might be my favorite game. I love the Bucs story, and I'm going to ride with it. I think this team is more seasoned. They've been to the Super Bowl within the last 5 years. They've been there. So they've been here. They've done this. Commanders, not so much. They haven't sniffed the playoffs in a while.
Their coach has. Dan Quinn went to the Super Bowl.
All right, we're not talking.
28-3.
Okay.
28-3 though.
Okay. Don't rain on my parade here. I just like the Bucs here. I think they have the better roster. I think they're the better team. I think Baker is the more. He's a veteran at this point. You know, I know he's been a backup. You know, here and there, but he's a veteran.
I don't even disagree that
Baker has that it factor that I've seen. You know, over the last couple seasons, especially this season. And I'm excited. I think he can make a good run in this.
So I don't even disagree that Baker might be the better quarterback this season, but like Jaden in this offense has some like random spark where like you don't know, it could happen at any time. It could be special at any moment. Like, you know, it can burst for 500 yards at any moment. Like this offense has the ability, the Commanders offense is like just hit the scene running whenever and like just disappear and come back. I think this is the moment for them. This defense, on the road, warm weather, they could explode here. I just see the potential happening there.
Yeah, and I don't think the Bucs are out of any moment. Like, I mean, even if they're behind, they're going to come back. You know, no matter where you catch this team, they're going to still be firing on all cylinders.
So last but not least, bro, Monday Night Football, 8 o'clock. Vikings, 5 seed, Rams, 4 seed.
Most exciting.
Vikings on the road.
Another exciting game.
Vikings on the road, 2.5-point favorites. I'm going to stick my guns here. I'm going to go with Sam Darnold and the Minnesota Vikings.
Wow.
I think they're the better roster. I think this year, Sam Darnold is the better quarterback than Matt Stafford. Right now, Sam Darnold is the better quarterback. I think he bounces back. I think he had a rough week. Look, he got blitzed a lot up the middle. He faced a lot of pressure, overthrew some guys. It was a little jittery. I think he bounces back. He's going to show that he had a great year, and he is a great quarterback now. Give me Sam Darnold. Give me the Vikings.
I think if past self from the beginning of the season saw the way you're talking right now, I think you would be in disbelief, and you wouldn't
grown,
believe.
Baby.
I don't think you would have believed it. I'm like, yeah, you're lying. Shut up.
We've grown, baby. Look. He's played. Look, that throw against the Seahawks. He's made big time throws. I believe in Sam Darnold now. I believe in him. I wanted to believe in him on the Jets. I was being a hater because he didn't do this on the Jets, but I watched him make big throws. And the Vikings, they're the best team in the league. They might be. So we'll look over our top 10, top 8, whatever next week. But like. Vikings, this might be their year. We might just find that this is the Vikings' year. They beat the Rams. They lose to the Lions. The Lions. This might be the Lions' year. Sorry, not the Vikings. This might be the Lions' year. You know what I mean? Like, they might be the Rams, lose to the Lions. We find the Lions win the Super Bowl. This might be that kind of thing. Sam Darnold had a great year. Threw for like 34 touchdown passes. He's been elite, and I believe in this guy to beat the Rams, who they have a better roster. I think right now he's been the better quarterback. Stafford's still elite. He's still great, but I think Darnold's been better. So I'm going to take Darnold. I'm going to take the Vikings. I'm going to take Justin Jefferson. I'm going to take that defense. I'm going to take Brian Flores over there, whatever their coordinator is. Honestly, Kevin O'Connell and Sean McVay's neck for neck because like Sean McVay's elite. Kevin O'Connell's been great, though. So I'm going to take the Vikings here. I'm sorry. Wow. I'm going to go with the Minnesota Vikings, the favorites on the road. Give me the Vikings. I'm going to hammer that down home. If I'm wrong again, I swear to God, like they'll be out, and I will just be ashamed.
There was passion in that. There was a lot of passion, and there's a lot of passion in that. And guess what? Because I'm going to go exactly the opposite of what you were saying. So I didn't last week. It sold me on them. I didn't like how I saw he choked in the big moment, and I think that's going to be he's just not ready for this moment. Yes, it was a nice story. I loved what I saw from him, but I think in the big moment, in the big games, I don't think he shines.
So this game is so huge for him because if he wins, he might get a big deal with the Vikings. If he loses, he might become a free agent. What do you think You think he's going to lose? What do you think happens after that for him? Does he stay with the Vikings?
I think he goes to another franchise as a starter.
Your Giants?
No.
Who?
Maybe the Raiders. I think he could easily be a Raider.
I think he wins this game and they give him a big deal. And they keep McCarthy. Honestly,
that would just be a waste of talent. I'd feel bad for McCarthy. If I would McCarthy, I would ask for out.
McCarthy has a big knee injury. McCarthy had a big knee injury, and he had to get Another surgery, 2 surgeries in less than a year on his knee.
They didn't make the second one sound too bad, but
It was a cleanup. No, it wasn't that bad. But still, it's like you could wish. Honestly, he might never have the year that Darnold had this year. Like, you don't know that. Like, it's tough.
I think it's better off unpacking his bags and going to another team. Now, JJ, I would take JJ any day of the week on the Giants.
I'd rather take Darnold than JJ. Darnold threw 34 touchdown passes. You never know JJ's going to be able to...
I'd rather roll the dice.
Roll the dice. We're going to roll the dice this week, see what happens. Oh, bro, your record. I won't... Dude, so I ended my season... What's your record at the end of the season?
I still have to...
Okay, add that stuff up. We'll talk about it next week.
We'll finish it up next week.
Yeah, so I actually ended up... So last year, we both went 166 and 106. I finished 172 and 100 exactly. Let's see what you finished. We'll talk about it next week, though.
Ooh.
So, all right, bro. Pleasure.
To the playoffs.
To the playoffs. Wildcard weekend. Bro, like, subscribe, share. Stop shitting on us. Just support. Support, don't shit. Support, don't shit. Thanks, guys. Take care. Be good. Thanks.